Kickoff time for a football season full of firsts and lasts.
Gabriel, and he's going to be sacked, and that might do it. The final seconds winding down.
After disappointing seasons last year for both OSU and OU.
Intercepted at the 45. It's picked off by Cedric Dorton, and he's got a return set up.
The stage is set for the Sooners' final season in the Big 12 Conference.
And the expectations are that, we should be able to do that this year, compete for a championship. And there's a lot of work and a lot of improvement has to take place before that can happen.
That means one last Bedlam battle with the Cowboys.
The Bedlam game is over because Oklahoma chose to leave the Big 12. Period. It's got nothing to do with Oklahoma State.
And a new expansion era for the Big 12.
This is a big moment for the conference as we welcome 4 new members.
We want to be a blue-collar, hard-nosed team that's going to be very physical, very tough.
Touchdown, Bearcats.
We spread it out. We like to play fast.
UCF waltzes into the end zone for a touchdown.
We've won 20 games in the last 2 years. There's only 5 teams in the country that can say that.
He was locked in, and that one was jumped on by Jace.
This is going to be a tougher schedule than we've seen ever at BYU.
With a house call, touchdown Cougars!
First in Football is presented by your Oklahoma Chevy team dealers and by your Green Country Chevy dealers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2023 First and Football College Preview. I'm Dean Blevins.
I'm John Holcomb, outside the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame.
And I'm Dusty Dvoracek. Tonight, we're going to discuss major changes to the Big 12, Oklahoma moving to the SEC, and possibly the final Bedlam matchup.
Well, we begin with a critically important season for the Sooners and for head coach Brent Venables, and a Sooner team that was stunningly disappointing last season, from preseason hype of maybe making the playoffs to losing 7 games.
And this is a game of development. And it's what it's all about. And you can't fail in development but do great in every other thing and expect to have a good football team.
That was Coach Venables today at the pregame news conference. He talked to me about what's on the line this season ahead of the season opener against Arkansas State. Let's start. I want to go back, obviously, last year, your first year, year 2. What did you learn? You're a guy that always likes to improve, get better. If you could boil it down to a couple things, what was the most important things you learned that you're going to take to make an even better year 2?
Well, we've used the word a lot, but it's efficiency in every part of the program, in our preparation. I think it goes without saying that we've got to improve in 3rd and 4th downs and red zone offense and defense, and then even in field position was a really critical component. It's simple things like we punted the ball and let the ball roll into the end zone, or punted it into the end zone 10 times last year, as opposed to pinning them inside the 10. Well, every one of those touchbacks that we had turned into a touchdown for the opponent. 10 times and 10 touchdowns, that's not a good recipe. So, being more efficient in all those areas, being better, improved, more knowledgeable, better schemes. And then we've improved our roster.
I'm curious, 1-score games, 0-4 last year. How do you flip that?
We've got to have a hit rate on 3rd down defense and be, closer to 70% successful. And, or 4th down where we're 50% successful. We've got to be in the 75% range on, red zone efficiency. And we had the worst 4th quarter in the conference last year. And so lots of reasons why, but I think having a fresher, deeper football team will help us to be a stronger 4th quarter team.
Let's talk about some of these players. They're going to make an impact on the field. Defensively,
there's depth. There's real depth. I see a much less drop-off from the 1st and the 2nd group.
Any certain position group that has more depth or across the board?
Well, it's really just the front 7. And then I do feel like we've got, 5 safeties. We got some guys that can play. They can play man, they can play zone. They're tough, they're physical, they can blitz. They show up in the run game when they got to play in the box. We just got more guys. And then our front 7 has got the most quality depth. You know, it's one thing to have numbers, and then it's another where they can line up and play winning football, they can execute.
No doubt about that. I can't wait to see the defense. I'm also excited about the offense. Offensive line.
We lost 3 guys, you know, but we feel that this has a chance. We stay healthy, continue to come on here like we are with that second group. That, you know, this is going to be a deeper, more talented offensive line than even what we had a year ago. So again, this is a game of doing.
You know, I am curious. Last year in the Big 12, how important is it year 2 for you guys to bounce back and head into the SEC, leave the Big 12 on the right note, given that Oklahoma's dominated this league since you guys got here in 1999?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all about Oklahoma. At the end of the day, you know, meeting our standards and our expectations in this building, first and foremost. I think the byproduct of that is leaving on a high note. It's putting ourselves in position where, you know, we have a chance to compete to go to Arlington. And that's what this program's all about. That's what our standards are.
I believe you guys are going to have an excellent season. And in order for you to do that, to achieve your goals, to get to Arlington, compete for a Big 12 title, give me 3 things that need to happen for your football team to meet those goals.
Yeah, play better run defense, play better red zone defense, and then be more efficient on offense, you know, 3rd and 4th down. We're incredibly excited. You know, this is a team that's put in a great deal of work, and it's got a different focus to them than what we had a year ago. So I expect a great year.
All right, boys, year 2. Year 1, as you mentioned, did not go the way we all thought. And I think talk with Coach Venables, efficiency is going to be a key word with meetings, with practice time, being more efficient with his coaches, with his players, and his culture in year 2. He's very happy about the way everybody's taken to that. More competitive depth on this roster, and defensively, year 2 in the system and the scheme, I think these guys have a better grasp of what is expected from their coaches, and they've recruited very well, both high school and the transfer portal. The talent on both sides of the ball, defensively in particular, should be much, much better this year.
You know, as for the head coach himself, I see it as an interesting and important decision after an unsuccessful season to not devote full attention to being a head coach. He's going to continue to be the defensive coordinator. Only a second-year head coach. How will Venables be different in 2023? Well, big picture, marvelous recruiter, and he's got to keep that 24 class together. On paper, they're better than any team that they play other than Texas, talent-wise. So does that mean 11-1 record is expected? Odds makers have OU winning 10.5 games. That's the over-under. Anything less with this schedule really will be disappointing for a lot of people, as crazy as that sounds.
It was so unusual last year to finish the way that they did. But the one thing that I think that could really pay dividends for them is you've got a seasoned, experienced quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, who's being pushed by a 5-star freshman in Jackson Arnold. I mean, if you needed one of those guys who's played a lot of college football to get even more out of what he's capable of, that's kind of the formula to me. You got that, then if you can run the ball at all, which I think they will be able to, then things could be really good near the end of the year. All right, still ahead, we take a trip up the road to Stillwater. We go one-on-one with OSU's Mike Gundy, plus the Cowboys' second new defensive coordinator in back-to-back years.